going on, everybody? Good evening. Welcome back to the Six Rings Change Show. Always a pleasure. Joined now every Wednesday night, baby, at 8:30 p.m. here by my talented partners here, Vish, Danny Gillette, and of course the legend Larry Bluestein. What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing tonight?
Good, good. How are you been?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm a little sore as some of you know, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Great week. It was a great week and continues to be. And Miami continues to peg the meter when it comes to recruiting. And everybody's finally excited this time of year and not pointing fingers at why Miami's losing the kids to Alabama and Ohio State and
Oh
Georgia.
yeah.
And so and there's more on the way. I know that Danny's going to fill us in on some of those guys and Vish as well. So I'm excited. I'm excited of the kids that they're getting. They're nobody's cast offs. They're everybody's priority, and it's about time.
As our good friend here, Fernie Tapia said, it's a great time to be a Miami Hurricanes fan because the momentum is hot right now. They're doing an amazing job. Mario Cristobal and the whole staff are doing an absolutely incredible job on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, and it's good we're not rationalizing failure anymore. We're actually succeeding on
Yeah.
the recruit trail. As always,
Here's the thing.
well, we want the kids that really want to be a Cane. Your job is to convince the high level talent to want to be a Cane. If you can't do that, you're not doing
Yeah.
your job. So it's always like, well, they didn't want to be here. We need to get people that really want to be here. It's like, no, you need the good people to want to be here. Like,
Not only are we getting the good people, but we're beating Alabama and Ohio State and Georgia for them. Okay, and the Florida Gators, right? Because we've been known to lose a couple to them recently as well. So that's huge, man. It's huge what we're doing. Obviously, we'll talk a lot about some of the guys that committed recently, but I know
Yeah,
that
and it's
other stuff.
especially, Florida also has a new coaching staff, and they should have that same energy and momentum, and they do
No,
not. So
they're going the opposite way.
it's one thing where Florida State's got dead men walking over there who can't make a bowl game, and they're just like trying to save
And
money.
they just
and
had a
waste the season.
5-star quarterback decommit as well.
Yeah,
They
well, I
just
mean,
had
they're
Chris
clearly in this mode of it's too expensive to fire him. Let's just ride this. No one actually thinks he's going to turn that around. So, but Florida, they got their new guy in there. This is the guy supposed to bring their program back, and Mario's stomping him everywhere. So that can't feel good for them.
Big shout out to Rob Dukes, Supreme Goon. What's going on, fellas? Bama fans cry more. We not done yet. Yeah, absolutely, man. Those are facts right there. What's up, Supreme Goon? Fernie Tap. The 2023 class is going to be epic, and the 2024 class will put college football on official notice as a top class. Listen, I mean, the 2023 class might put everybody on notice as well. They're up to number 7 in the country now. And even let's put it this way: they're up to number 7 in the country. And I actually want to give the floor to Danny Gillette on this one first because I know I know how pissed off he is about it too. Because I think we're all kind of upset as Canes fans. What the hell is going on with these rankings? Right, we're number 7 in the country now in recruiting, and even with that, right, even with Jayden Wayne committing, he was a 5-star. Literally right after he committed, he dropped a star. Danny, what the hell is going on with these rankings, man?
Look, I could dedicate a whole show to my distaste for the ranking process and how terrible some of these ranking people are, but I will take the high road and just say that I really don't think some of these guys are evaluating talent. It's really weird. You take a look, some kid will commit to Miami and he'll go from 5 stars to 4 stars. Some 3-star will go to 5 stars just because he committed to Alabama. It's crazy. Makes me question the validity of the rankings, and that's all I'm going to say about that because I know we got a lot more to cover on the show.
Which, by the way, before we continue with this, we got a really special guest on today. We're really excited to have Nathaniel Ray Joseph on. He'll be coming on in about 8 to 10 minutes or so. At about 8:45, we'll definitely have him on to talk a little bit about his recruitment, what's going on with his stuff, and of course, to kind of move forward on what he sees this Miami Hurricanes football program doing on the recruiting trail and how they're going to use his talents as well at the next level. So, but Blue, look, we talked a little bit off air. The ranking system.
So real quick before that, I do want to address this comment. So when we hired Mario,
yes,
all we heard was this guy's an amazing recruiter, but he'll blow games, right? That's what everyone told us to kind of talk down the hire. Right. That's what everyone was telling us. All of our rival fans are all like, yeah, but you saw when he only finished 5th in the country with Justin Herbert, as if we would have a problem with finishing 5th right now. But putting that to one side, right? So now he comes out here and he does the thing that they all acknowledged he could do well, which is recruit. And now they're all melting down. Who you guys are cheating? Like this is the literal thing you acknowledged he was great at, and he's doing. Like I am so fed up with this. Like this. Oh, something's going on there. Yeah, we hired one of the best recruiters in the country. Like, what'd you think was going to happen? So, to me, it's like frustrating when we see like these accusations, like, "Oh, Johnny Reese is buying kids." No, Mario's always been a great recruiter. They knew he was when we hired him. I would say, this is exceeding expectations, but it wasn't out of the realm of possibilities that he'd be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, now they have another thing is. When Miami wins 7 games this fall, they're going to all shake loose, and so don't count your chickens before they're hatched. And that's just sour grapes. People don't understand, that the momentum. It's not just this class, but it's the portal. It's the kids that they brought in. This isn't just about this class. It's about the entire team. So I don't buy in it no more than anybody else. I mean, you look at a lot when Georgia started recruiting really well. The same thing, Alabama fans, especially because, I mean, come on, Alabama fans always have something to say. I don't care if they're on top or not, but they always have something to say. You won't hold on to that guy. He's going to end up coming because Nick's a better coach. So I don't listen. I just think right now Miami's basking in it. They're going to have a really, really good 2022 season. And then we're off to the races because then you're looking at 24, closing the deal on all the 23s. Getting a lot of them on campus by spring of next year, so the coordinators could start, taking hold. The strength people, Coach Fell and all those could start getting them going. Yeah, I'm not buying into it. As somebody who's followed recruiting a lot of years, I just think that what Miami's doing right now is sending a message that everything's positive. Around there, great coaching. And like I said, when I talked to Mario Cristobal and he asked me, how come all these kids that came in here in the past, never got elevated? And I said, well, because they just weren't coached up. And he said, that's not going to happen here. So we'll see. We'll take all these guys that are coming in and they're just going to get better and better. And, you were talking about Wayne. Can you imagine him working with Coach Taylor for a couple of weeks and see how much he improves really quickly? The kid's a freak as it is, and I just laugh when someone demotes him to a 4-star. I mean, I don't go by the stars either, Danny, but you know what? If the guy was most of these people don't even watch these kids play. If I don't see him live, I spend like 4 or 5 hours watching each one. This kid's a beast. I mean, you know what? I mean, it's just, yeah, it kind of gets me, and I mean, some of the guys that they've gotten so far, I think they're all proven. I mean, their tight ends are going to be nuts. I mean, just nuts. And I was watching the kid Williams. I made some notes on that, just watching Riley Williams. Come on, this kid will be in the NFL, no doubt. And Miami's only ever had one guy from Oregon before, and his name was Bill Sichoke. He was an offensive lineman from Jesuit in Portland. And I'm telling you, this kid, Central Catholic kid, comes from the, Portland Central Catholic. I watch him. The kid's a man-child. He gets open in a hurry, and he's gone. And, I watch these guys that they have, and I wrote something today and broke down all the kids that they had in the class, and from what I've seen and from watching live and also watching on tape. And I'm jumping for joy. I can't wait to get these guys in the orange and green because, I mean, just some of the things that they do are just crazy. Both quarterbacks, and the way I feel about Emory Williams, but Rashada, I mean, you watch his film for long enough, and then see him, and you go, whoa. Makes great decision, puts the ball on the dime, no matter if there's a pass rush or not. He steps up and eludes people. He's got great field vision. Wow. You know, I mean, they've done homework. I know, and everybody else has been after these guys, but I've had an opportunity to watch them all. The Carver kid too. I mean, I sat there and watched him. He's a man child as well. A lot of people are kind of like pushing these guys because Miami got them, you know, into a corner, but don't do that. The guys that they've got are all elite kids. It's backed up that they've moved up 32 spots now in 16 days. So yeah, I'm excited for them.
Yep. Real quick, Gary brings up a really good point. Real quick, the first one, assuming it all went down how they say, maybe you should consider that On3 is too new to be included in the composite. Why is he inexplicably low on their site? I mean, that's a great point, Gary. I wish I understood why, because you've got other people like 247 or maybe some others, that are ranking him a little bit higher. I just don't get it. I don't know if it's because they haven't watched film. I don't know if he plays 7-on-7. He is an edge guy, so what does he? How do you kind of watch his film and how do you kind of dictate what star level he is?
I'd also just say, like, they did poach a lot of people that have experience. So it's not like they're not. The company and the site is new, but the actual, a lot of the people that have been in the game a long time, but. To Blue's point, a lot of them don't go out and watch kids anyway. It's easy to churn out ratings and drive traffic. It's hard to do the work of actually scouting. They're not signing the kids. There's no consequence for missing on their star rating. So for them, I'm in business. That's my actual job. Like the business, the return on investment of actually putting the work in to go watch kids and make sure your ratings are accurate is nothing. So that's why all these sites are going to slap stars on there. They're going to do things like, if you go to Bama, you're going to get a higher star. And that's why, if you go back, this was going way back, but a couple of decades when this was a newer medium of star rankings, but was still there. And we were falling off. We were still the Kings, but we were falling off. And I think us locally looked at the players we were bringing in and like, these kids are not as good as the ones that they're replacing. And they were still 4 and 5 stars. Because at that point, if you went to Miami, you're a 5-star.
Right. And
we were, and those of us locally watching those kids were like, no, these are not 5 stars. And so now the reason Nick Saban's a machine over there, so it becomes, confirmation when Bama still kills people and then they get 5 stars and then it loops through. But when a new player like Mario gets on the scene, it completely misses because they're reliant totally on school offer, drive star rating. It's not going to games, watching kids play, also properly evaluating level of competition. It's not easy, right? It's a tough job to do, and you got to put in a lot of work. And frankly, they don't necessarily do it.
Well, I know one of the biggest question marks is one of the is the Manning kid, right? The Arch Manning, and how he's a 5-star and the number 1 player in the country on many composite boards, on many boards or rankings, and. I'm not saying he's a 2-star, he's a 1-star, he's terrible. I don't think he's the number 1 player in the country either. So, real quick, as we got Ray here, but let's talk. Let's give our sponsor a shout out real quick as we bring in Ray Joseph. Let's talk about Prize Picks real quick before we bring him on. Prize Picks is the official daily fantasy app of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Make sure you're using the code 5, F-I-V-E, when you sign up. They will match your initial deposit up to $100. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E. You don't even have to spend it all at once, which is great. You can play the NBA, the NHL, the NFL. You can play so many different sports. And what's great is that you can team up different teams in different sports as well. You don't have to go all in one sport. You can kind of mix and match. You can pick anywhere between 2 and 5 players, all depending on how much you want to win, right? You choose their individual categories. Basically, they're the over-under on the individual categories for each individual player. And then you just watch and see how much you win. It's simple as that. Make sure you go to prizepicks.com. Sign up today. Again, use the code 5, F-I-V-E, and they'll match your initial deposit up to $100. Prizepicks.com. Without further ado, I think we need to bring on this talented player out of South Florida.
I think we got to bring on our prize pick.
Yeah. Oh, I see what
Yeah,
you did
That's
there.
how you
exactly. Good,
transition, man.
good
You're the pro,
segue
but
there, man.
I had to
Yeah,
leave it. I had to go for it.
I'm going. I'm going.
That's why you make the big bucks, Vish,
That
because you
that
think
is
of things
exactly
like
why.
that.
There's big bucks.
Yeah. Well, not here. You make the big bucks elsewhere. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring him on. Nathaniel Ray Joseph is on the call with us now. What's going on, Ray? How you doing? Thanks for joining us.
No problem. I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Again, we truly appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day. I know you're a busy dude now. So, first of all, we wanted to congratulate you on committing to the Miami Hurricanes. But before we even get to that, definitely want to know how your summer is going as far as if you're training, if you're having a good time, right? Listen, come on now. You got to have a good time also. It's the summer. So, I want to see how summer is going with you. Not only from a training perspective, but what you are doing moving forward to kind of get yourself ready for this season and I guess your last high school season as well. Talk to me a little bit about how's it going right now in the summer.
Well, it's going good. I've been in practice already. We already started up, summer workouts. So I've been practicing almost the whole summer. Doing 7-on-7s with my team, but other than that, I mean, it been good. I mean, just building that team chemistry and building chemistry with the quarterback that we got. I mean, so the summer been great. I definitely improved on a lot of things that I need to work on, and I'm still improving. And we getting out there tomorrow. We actually going to the beach with the team, so that'll probably be a little fun after we finish getting beat up by the coach. But I kind of make much fun I can out of that tomorrow.
Those beach workouts are fun. They're tough, but they're fun. So I'm glad you get to hang out a little bit after. Blue, you got a question for Ray?
Yeah, definitely, Ray. Thanks for joining us, and certainly, I've known the family for a lot of years, and this is something that you've been working for all your life, and going to be a 5-year varsity player, starting with Miami Christian. Talk about your career and how you've kind of like developed and have gotten better every year, because I remember when you first started, I mean, you had the speed, your route running, you were working on that. Have you gotten, let me put it this way. What do you need to work on before you get to the University of Miami next year?
Well, pretty much everything. I mean, there's room to improve everywhere. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to work on, more blocking. I block, but I'm going to work on more blocking and getting that more on the film. But, I mean, routes and, explosion, everything really. I'm just going to, critique all the little things, and work on all the little things that I need to work on, and just keep, getting better and better. But, I mean, since 8th grade, I mean, that always been my mindset, just getting better and better. But I definitely, see improvement from, the time I started to now. But, it's only more room to grow. I mean,
Right.
Miami Christian helped me, get on the map and put me, from 8th grade, being able to get a head start on most of my class, with that chance. And then, getting the Miami Edison with Coach Luke, he made it even more, better for me and put me more out there, far as exposure wise. But
Right.
definitely helped me get better. A receiver coach that's dedicated, that's there every day, working with me every day and helping me get better. And I mean, that was the biggest, improvement with my game.
Right. And along the way, you've had a lot of role models to look up to. Your uncle at Northside, your cousin Bo, who arguably was one of the top quarterbacks at North Miami, and now Flex, who may be starting as a running back at FIU. How much did you learn from watching them and being around them? Because I mean, you were a young kid when Bo was playing, and certainly watched Flex at Central. How much did you learn from your cousins?
Oh man, I learned a lot. I mean, that's really where it started. In my uncle's backyard, we all back there running each other over and just ain't no mercy on nobody. So that's really where it all started. Us just beating on each other and making each other tougher. So when we go out there against these other guys, it made it easy. But I mean, just watching them. I mean, watching Flex tear it up. Some of the top defenses in Dade County when he was playing. It just, that just always made me want to, do what I got to do. Then, Bo did his thing every year, So, I mean, just watching them guys it definitely helped me because I ain't want to be that drop off anyway. Like, I ain't want to be that missing link. oh, his cousin, and then so my cousin, they brother actually, they little
Yeah.
brother, he following behind me, so
Yeah, I
he
saw him.
already
I
on talk
saw him.
good stuff. Yep. So it ain't no drop off. We got to keep the thing rolling.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you something. I was at your spring game up at Palm Beach Gardens,
Yeah.
and it was kind of surreal to see the Clemson coach on the sideline and Coach Gaddis on the other side. Was there anything to do with Coach Gaddis staying at the darn thing for like 10 hours? I mean, he was there waiting for you to play both of your games. He followed every single thing that you did. Was did that have anything to do with it, seeing him and how much support he was giving you?
Oh man, yeah, that's incredible. I mean, he told me he was coming, but he definitely stayed for a long time. He stayed as long as he could. I mean, I seen him he was even at the second game. Then he kind of left a little bit before it ended, but he definitely stayed as long as he could. And I mean, pregame we was warming up. I mean, I seen Clemson in Miami. It was kind of some tension. I'm like, it's like I was sitting there like, man, I'm trying to figure out what's girl I'm finna take to the prom. So it's like, man, I'm like, dang. So I just, I had to put on a show for him. I thank, Coach Grisham and everything from Clemson for coming down, but Coach
Right.
Gaddis and Coach Steele and them, they definitely came out and supported and showed their presence and made sure I knew they was there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love to hear that. I love it. By the way, I want to go right back real quick. Shout out to Miami Christian. I coached at Miami Christian. I coached baseball at Miami Christian. So
Okay.
it's been a minute, but Coach Cozy and them over there, I love Miami Christian. So but yeah, getting back to what you wanted to improve on, Ray, that kind of resonates with me a lot because you don't hear that a lot from wide receivers, regardless of whether they're outside guys, inside guys, tall, big, small, short, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like you don't hear a lot. I want to improve my blocking, and I know you know this, Ray, and I definitely want to get your take before. I know DJ's got a question also, but Coach Gaddis is going to demand a lot from his players, and he's going to be so multiple. He's going to do so many different things. He's going to put you in a position to be successful. But listen, coming in, you're going to have some of the best running backs in the country back there that you're going to have to block for, even on screen passes, whatever it is, you're going to have to do your part, especially blocking. That's a great way to get on the field as well, especially in an offense like this. Talk to me about what Coach Gaddis maybe, or just the offense as a whole, has said that you might possibly be doing, and what type of offense they're going to run, but how you're going to be successful, how you're going to kind of fit in that offense.
Yeah, I mean, so I went to Miami a couple of times, visiting and things, and I mean, every time, I go down there, the way Coach Gaddis tell me he go use me, it always get better and better every time he explains it. And the ways that he want to use me, he want to get me on a lot of touch stuff like screens, jet sweeps, and he also want to do a lot of crosses with me because I got my speed. So just running away from dudes and just creating separation and getting to the open area. But oh man, I mean, every time like he showed me that he break down the film of how he'll use me on Saturdays and then how it translates to Sundays, and actually some of the stuff that I do now in high school. So it all flows in one direction, and that really stood out to me. Even on my official visit, like the way he planned on using me just really stuck out to me, and it gets like every time we sit down and have that conversation, it gets better and better in the ways he create in his mind and the ways he want to do and some of the stuff he was showing me from Michigan and stuff. But it really stood out because it's the same stuff these dudes doing on Sunday. And I mean, if I could get a head start in college on to some of the stuff that these dudes doing in the NFL when it's my time, it'll be because I'm used to it. I'm going in, okay, I did this in college, so it won't be like it's something new. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely pro style because the way a lot of stuff that he was showing me is very similar to some of the stuff these dudes like how the Dolphins use water and stuff. So I mean, he definitely broke it down good with how he want to use me. So he definitely got an idea and a game plan when it comes to me getting in.
That's awesome. DJ, you got something for Ray?
Yeah, I do. Hi, Ray. Thanks for being on the show.
Okay.
My question is, you have two good quarterbacks in this class, in Jayden Rashada and Emory Williams. Have you had a chance to connect with them, and what are your thoughts in terms of how they play?
Oh man, yeah. I actually seen Eminem work out in person, but I in Rashada I seen him too. So I mean, I didn't talk to these dudes multiple times on the phone, especially Rashada. But I mean, it's lights out the way they play. I mean, watching Remy do the little, he just doing some stuff, some private workouts, and I'm watching him. And I mean, he got an arm, and he putting it out the deep balls on the money, very accurate. And I mean, same thing with Rashada. I mean, they both is definitely lights out quarterbacks. So that's definitely good having two quarterbacks that could compete against each other and just make each other better throughout the whole process. So I mean that's two great pickups that we got. And that's definitely gonna help me because I really know I got some quarterbacks that's gonna be with me my whole process. So that's definitely was good on my behalf.
Hey, Ray, let me
Blue,
ask
go
you.
ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
throw
I was
it to
going to
you, Blue.
ask him about, your connection with this class, because I know that every class kind of hangs together, gets on the social media, maybe talks to one another in private or so. I mean, have you, besides the quarterbacks, have you reached out to anybody else, or have they reached out to you? Because I know when you committed, a lot of the kids that have like Bobby Washington and Robbie Washington were excited, and a lot of the other guys have you reached out, and you guys kind of, will it be something that you're going to do this whole year, is stay in contact with all these guys until you get on campus?
Oh yes, we already in the group chat. Whoever commit, they get in the
Nice.
group chat, and we in the group chat. We talking. We worrying about who we finna go get next. Man, as soon as somebody commit, we in the group chat. We tell them, congratulations, and we all, in there chatting it up and laughing. But then next question is who we going to get next. So we still working, but all us in the group chat. If you committed to the university, you're in the group chat with all the 2023 recruits, and we in there, and we definitely always talking and always conversating. Even them dudes trying to recruit each other to IMG. Some of them that go to IMG, but we definitely in the group chat, and we definitely keep in communication.
That's awesome, man. That's you kind of took my question, Blue, but I love it. That's exactly what I wanted to know, and I think that's what all the Canes fans want to know. Any final questions? Anything else for Ray Blue, DJ?
Well, I know that last year you had an opportunity to go to Niceville and play against the kid Thomas, who everybody was looking at, one of the top players, in the country last year. And you've got an opportunity being in Miami-Dade County to go against the best. I mean, the Centrals, the Northwesterns, the Carroll Cities. The one thing that, and you also with your 7-on-7s, talk about the competition that you play against, because a lot of these kids, and I'm not going to mention any Arch Mannings or anybody like that, they don't play the competition that you do every single week, no matter who it is. I don't care who, Booker T. I mean, everybody has talent down here. How has that helped you as far as getting better?
Oh man, it helped. Oh man, that's probably the number one ways of getting better down here, because I mean every week you finna go up against a dog. And even if he's not as good as you, he got the mindset is I'm not finna let this dude beat me. So every week you gotta come to play. And I mean that's definitely the difference from South Florida and everywhere else. I mean, you even see it when we go on these cats and we go to places. These kids be sorry. Not that not none of them, but when you leave, South Florida, everybody else most of the time they either slow or they just can't play. So I mean, when we with the 7-on-7 stuff, we went up the road, we was beating everybody. And you come down here, you really gotta play. When you playing against the Northwesterns, no matter who you play, you gotta definitely kind of play. And it ain't no taking no plays off of nothing, because these dudes trying to punch you in the mouth, just like we trying to punch them in the mouth. So I mean, that definitely helped me improve, throughout high school. I mean, just who I gotta play every week, and with Coach Luke, every week we go have a tough schedule. No matter who we play, he go have Northwestern Central. Whoever he could get on there that's tough, he go try to put on there to get us prepared for the playoff. So I mean, that really shaped me, really, when with South Florida's talent, even with the 7-on-7 stuff.
Nice.
You got other little places that how they guys or whatever, but everywhere you go is talented down here.
Last question for you, Ray, because I know, again, we appreciate you coming on, man. Last question. What do you want to – well, actually, what are the Hurricanes going to get in Nathaniel Ray Joseph, and what do you want to tell the Canes fans as well?
I mean, Canes fans and the University of Miami go get a lot from me. Whatever they need, that's what they go get. I mean, special teams, slot receiver outside. I could do it all. I'm going to definitely play my role and do whatever it takes to help Miami get to the national championship. And I'm going to definitely keep recruiting. I'm going to try to be a leader in this class. And we definitely go get it popping. And we ain't done yet. So we ain't done yet. Miami rolling. We hot. And trust me, we'll have a national championship for y'all sooner or later.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Again, thank you so much,
Thanks, Ray,
for coming on the show. And
thanks and congratulations as well.
Absolutely, congratulations. Welcome to the family, and of course, man, you're always welcome to come on the show. And wish you the best of luck this season. And can't wait to see you in that orange and green, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it.
Good dude. Great dude.
Oh, what a great kid, man! What a great kid! He
Great
got everybody hyped up, huh?
He got
Great
the swag
family.
already, man. Look, that's good.
Great family, and that's the whole thing. His support at home has always been really, really good. And I mean, a very intelligent young man that gets it done in the classroom too. So that's going to be another plus. Just like when Restrepo was, recruited, to know that kid's going to be one of your better students is awfully nice as well. But Ray's a confident young man, but I guess when you play like he does, you could be.
I love it. Though. I mean, I know it sounds cliche sometimes, but the first thing that kind of stuck out to me was, look, he's a 5'8", 5'9" kid. He's a fast. He can blow the top off of a defense. The first thing he said was, yeah, I got to improve my blocking because I want to be a badass blocker. That's basically what he said. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Like that to me is the sign of someone who, number one, is confident in his skill.
Right.
And number two, knows, what it's going to take to be a successful college football player and beyond, right? And then just everything that he was talking about with Coach Gaddis and how he wants to use them in multiple sets and different ways.
But it was a crazy setting up there, Jazz, and when we were up in Palm Beach. Here's Clemson, and everybody kind of knew deep down that Clemson was losing that grip. Because, I mean, we don't have to tell you about Coach Gaddis. I mean, he does what he does. He's a really, really good guy. And, you're talking about size and stuff. I had an opportunity this last weekend. Tutu Atwell hosted an event over at Hadley Park, and Jaylen Waddle was there. Let me tell you something. That guy's in his street clothes coming down the road. You think he's some little kid that he's in middle school. He's not big at all. And it just shows you, look at how he made an impact with the Dolphins in his first year. So to me, Ray's a giant compared to him. So you figure, he's going to really, and just being the leader. And I didn't mean to steal your question, but that's an important thing, to find out how they're communicating. Because if you remember that one class, I think the 2000 and the 2021 or the 2020 class, that was a very tight-knit group that came in. Obviously, they didn't all stay together, but I have a good feeling because all these guys are upper stars. I mean, you have the kid Washington, who a lot of people are kind of overlooking. I think that, having watched his dad and watched him play last year, this kid's having him and Ray on that team. I mean, they could lead the nation in returns because both of them could fly. Both of them are really, really good. So, yeah, I thought he was good. I just, he's the type of kid that you need on your team because he's all Miami. He's all Miami, and that's important.
Yeah, I mean, those kids at what you said, Blue, like those kids that are in that chat, this is a different type of athlete, a different type of player. We're not talking about, and this is not a knock on the 3-star kids or the low 4-star kids, or the kids that, okay, hey, he committed. Cool, that's a nice commit. Like these are big time guys. Most of them got a little bit of an ego, right? They're one of the top players in the country, got a little bit of an ego. They want to be iron sharpens iron, as cliche as that is. They want to be around the same guys that have that same mentality, that same level of dog or whatever you want to call it, right? They want to be around those guys because those are the guys that make them challenge themselves and want to be better players, right? They don't want to be and I truly believe this, they don't want to be the guy that is the smartest guy in the room. They don't want to be the guy that's the baddest man in the room. They want to be amongst other badasses, other top-notch blue chip athletes that are going to be able to challenge them right back. and I hate to say this, but there's some guys that committed last week. There's that maybe weren't going to fit that mold because there was some guys that were already, kind of asserting their dominance and are saying, yo, these there you go. That's the perfect word. Alphas. They're alphas. They wanted to assert their dominance and be like, we're alphas here. Let's ride. You either with us, you're going to you're going to be up to this level, or you're going to get stomped all over. Right. And maybe those guys need to go somewhere else. Whatever the case is, like the guys that are in that chat right now are going to be able to come together, and this class is just going to be absolutely incredible moving forward. Look, we just got one of the top linebackers in the country yesterday in Raul Popo Aguirre. Okay, first of all, can I say this, Blue? Maybe you can correct me. He's of Cuban descent, am I right?
Yeah, he's from here.
Okay, right. He's originally from Miami. Can I call him Aguirre for the love of God?
Aguirre is what you need. You need to call him Aguirre.
Okay, because I hear a lot of people calling him Aguirre.
I haven't heard Aguirre.
I haven't heard anyone say that. So I was like, Jess, what are you doing? You're people out.
No, I have. That's why I'm like, these are my people, bro. These are my people. It's Aguirre to me,
don't
bro.
do that. I think to have a Cuban-born player, of Cuban descent, man, you got to be awfully proud. And I call him Aguirre, and that's
all right.
I don't care if his name is Aguirre. His name is Aguirre here.
Okay, because I think of the
I'm having flashbacks to basketball in the 80s and 90s, if people remember.
Wow,
it's like calling Big O Alzagheri. It's Asugaray, bro. It's Asugaray. You know what I mean? Come on now.
There was this basketball player in the 80s and 90s called Mark Aguirre, is how everyone said his name. And I didn't know Spanish when I was a kid, but like after the fact, I realized he was Panamanian, and his 100% was Aguirre, and everyone just called him Aguirre.
I'm like,
but we've evolved as a society. This kid's name is Aguirre. We're not calling him Aguirre.
It's Aguirre, bro. It's Aguirre. Raul Aguirre. I'm gonna say it like that, like a true Cuban says it.
There you
Raul
go.
Aguirre. I want to have him on the show. Blue, we got to get him on the show next.
Yeah, we'll get him on that. We're working to get Coach Ponce on for next week, and he can talk about the quarterback room. Obviously, he can't talk about Rashad.
Is he Ponce or is he Ponce?
Well, you know what? His name is Ponce because, when his wife, who used to work on Channel 7 down here, and she's still in North Carolina, when she puts it on her social media, she puts it Ponsay. So you're 100% correct. It is awesome. Ponce. Everybody calls him Ponce, so that's what I do. But his name is Frank Ponce.
He can do like a Jim Larinaga and find his roots now. He's back in Miami.
Wow, this conversation is gone.
It's going out.
This is a 100% Miami conversation.
Absolutely. Going back to Aguirre, Blue, I'm sure you've gotten to see a lot of him also. Obviously, originally from Miami. Family is very close with Cristobal and Maribel. As well from the Columbus days, playing together, going to school together, all that. So obviously that had a role in the recruitment. Yes, and that's great, right? Family, you know what you're getting with Mario Cristobal. But this kid is no slouch. He is a dog. He is an animal playing up there in Georgia and Whitewater. Talk to me a little bit about what you see in a kid like Aguirre. Does he kind of compare to anybody that you've seen play before, whether it's at Miami or somewhere else?
Aggressive sideline to sideline kid who plays against the run real well, but he drops into coverage, which is something that Miami in the past had with Beeson, John Beeson, who dropped into coverage really, really well. Even Glenn Cook at the same time, because Glenn was very athletic back in the day. He's a tremendous tackler. He's going to fill up the stat sheets because of the fact that he's relentless. And like I said, he'll go sideline to sideline. A great compliment to Wesley and some of the other kids that they're bringing in. Yeah, he's going to hit the field quick because of his ability to drop into coverage, because you know that when offensive coordinators play Miami a lot of times, they have a tendency to look at what Miami did, especially their linebacking core last year. You see when Quarterman and Pinckney were here, it was different because they could slide back into coverage. They were big enough to play the run. They were almost outside linebackers who were playing interior. But that's the one thing about him that I noticed right away. He almost plays the position like a safety with linebacker size. Sort of like, that's what – and I'm watching more and more of Bobby Washington now. and seeing more of his film. I saw him play live a couple of times last year, but I think he was lost in the position that they had him in. And sometimes people don't realize that kids will flourish if they're in a position that fits them more. And I think it's who you surround yourself with. At Killian, he was surrounded by Stanquan Clark, who's another kid I hope Miami kind of leans in towards. Tremendous football talent, a kid who reminds me a lot of Sean Spence, who I had an opportunity to see over the weekend. I wish Sean Spence, when he was playing here, was as big as he is now. But he's a kid that definitely a position of need. I mean, immediate need. When he comes in, he's going to be in that depth chart. He has to be. We don't have that many quality linebackers at that spot.
Amen to that. DJ, you were able to put something up on Aguirre as well. Talk to me a little bit about what you saw from the linebacker.
I saw a linebacker that was very good in terms of identifying the play. He has a good speed burst, particularly in the defending the run game and in short yardage situations. I think he's a very good linebacker overall. Don't get me wrong, but I think he'll be especially good in red zone situations when opposing teams march down the field. He has the ability to burst quickly, and he is a physical player. This is something we saw, with the corners and, the linebackers. The physical part of their game seems to be what Miami wants for an identity on defense, and Aguirre fits the mold. He is going to be a very solid player, and it just keeps adding to what has been an incredible month overall for this program in terms of recruiting. Like, I feel like I'm writing stories every day now. It's pretty crazy.
Keep it coming, baby. Keep
Absolutely.
it coming. Blue, would you say Kane comparison is who? John Beeson? Is that who you would
compare? Yeah, he plays that same game as John did, and remember, John was a very athletic guy. In fact, Georgia was recruiting him at a running back position. So, but that's the one thing that Aguirre reminds me of the most, because he's very athletic and he's got a tremendous motor. I mean, you watch him play after play after play, and even if he's taken out of a play, even if he gets double teamed or should maybe take the wrong takes the wrong lane, he always gets back in it real quick. He's a prideful guy, and I love those type of guys that come back if they make a mistake, that'll come back and follow up the play. And I'm sure, Danny, when you were watching the film, you saw there was a couple of times where he was taken out of plays, but what happened was he got off his butt and then followed it right back up and ended up making the tackle or being one of the guys as an assist. So you can't teach that. That's instinctual. That's something that comes from within. I mean, you could teach people that, but unless you've done that and you have that inside your head, you're not going to do it consistently.
Amen to that. Look, Blue, there's been a lot of talk about all these guys that are going to be committing soon, and DJ, we'll kind of ask you in a second, some of the guys that some people have mentioned in the chat already, but Mark brings up a good question. Definitely want to get, and I kind of want to get this from Vish and from DJ as well. What you thought about. Big shout out to Flo Daddy in the house. What's going on, Flo?
What's up, Flo?
What's up, Flo?
How do you think Mario has done up to this point, not only recruiting but just overall as the head honcho of this program?
Yeah. Well, I could answer that by saying he's real. I mean, what's not to like? I mean, he's energetic. You saw during his press conference at Legends where, the media feel free and feel, I mean, I'm not going to take shots at Manny or anybody else, but there's a lot of times where you're almost timid to ask, them questions. But with him, he wants you to ask questions. He wants to be transparent. He wants this program, as you could see, he wants everybody to understand what he does, why he does it, and he's not afraid to tell you. And I think he's done an awesome job from a public relations standpoint, from a talent evaluation standpoint. And I think the biggest thing, and I talked to Charlie Strong about this, his hiring. I mean, come on, guys, look at who he hired in such a short span of time. And he's going to hit on all of them because all of them bring amazing strengths to the game. And I think that when you surround yourself with like-minded people, and it was funny because we were, I think it was Coach Strong and I were at one of the games, and one of the coaches from another school was saying, well, we do this and that, and we're out of there by 2. And Charlie goes, 2 in the morning? And he says, no, 2 in the afternoon. He goes, oh man. He goes, that ain't happening where I'm at. And that's the thing. Mario wants the work ethic. And he wants you there, whatever you're doing to study film, to help people game plan. And that's going to be the best thing in the world. I'd love to be on the wall, a fly on the wall during any game week, because I want to see how they game plan, because there's going to be a lot of great minds out there throwing out a lot of stuff. So I like that. And I think that's so essential. And just to answer your question, I think he's done an awesome job.
Amen to that. Facts on that. Real quick, DJ, I want to kind of get to you. Yeah, Anthony, I haven't heard a lot of that. I have heard some other stuff with regards to the tight end position that, listen, 3 tight ends is a lot of tight ends in the class. So we'll see what happens at that position. But I don't know if any of those guys are going to move to the offensive line. They're all 3 of them are really talented tight ends. And I think they're going to be better off at that position anyways.
Reed McKeska would probably be the guy, if anybody, because he's a little bulkier. But I still think if you watch him play, this cat he's special. Now I could see maybe them going to edge, maybe go moving on the other side, because a lot of them do play both ways. So
Jackson Carver plays both ways, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. A lot of them play both ways because they're at smaller schools.
Right.
And same thing with Williams. Williams was at a smaller school. And the one thing is I think if you're a Hurricane fan, get IMG's schedule. And if you get a chance to go, see one of the games, just, it's like 3 hours away in Bradenton, maybe to make a Saturday or Friday out of it and go up and watch these guys play, because never has Miami had so many commitments from this school. They had Reading that one year, and they've had 1 or 2 kids here and there. But I'm telling you, that way you could see, what Maui Goa looks like, against some of the competition that they play, and the way that Williams catches the ball, because I think that you guys are going to be really, really impressed with this kid. I mean, because I watched some of his tape from Oregon, and I know a couple of coaches that coach out there, and they've all told me, they go, this kid is a 1st-round pick in the NFL, and you can't dispel it when these guys have been watching the kid since he was 11 years old, and they've watched his growth and maturity. So Miami has those dudes that that are going to help the program get back in that 1st round. The way they were for so many years and had all that talent. But I'm excited about that. But to answer the question, I don't think you got any immediate moves. You have Arroyo, who's going to pick up right after Will leaves, and then you still have Mammarelli and what's his name, the other kid that they got last year, who's really, really good as well. So it doesn't hurt to have 4 or 5 capable guys, because you can go to double tight end sets, a lot of times, and really hurt the opposition, because all of them are capable of not only blocking but catching the ball as well.
Amen to that. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that tight end position. Really quick before we got to get out of here, DJ, talk to me about a couple of the guys that we can that the Kings are I guess close to having on their team, right? Some of the guys that are going to be committing soon, some of these high school kids. Talk to me about some of the kids that have set some dates up or are looking to pull the trigger soon.
Well, one of the kids I'm looking at, and I was looking at his crystal balls earlier today, was Samson Okanola. He's been gaining some traction to Miami. He's going to visit the school on Friday, along with names like Cormani McLean and Joel Aguirre. I know Miami's been in a battle with Florida for McLean, and all the crystal balls right now are trending to Florida, but that doesn't mean Miami's out of it. As we know, Mario always gets the last word, the last visit, so we'll see what happens there. And then I believe there is 11 visitors in total this coming Friday, or 11 visitors, I believe, this coming Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll have to double check on that. And I could see Okunlola being a commit relatively soon. Usually, when high confidence crystal balls get put in, there is an announcement to follow soon after. Again, that's entirely up to the prospect or the recruit, but things are looking good at this point, and he's been trending to Miami for quite some time now.
Yeah, I think some of the guys you got to keep an eye on are clearly Samson. So having Okunlola and Mayogoa on this team at bookend tackles that would be absolutely dangerous. Also, Olaus Alanen is another kid that will be down in Florida very soon again. Down in Miami, hopefully, and of course, Kamani McLean, Jayden Bonsu is another kid, if I'm not mistaken, that the staff is looking really hard on, and Miami seems to be in a good position with him as well. So I think that you've got some really great names out there. You've got some
Tommy
wide
Kinsler
receivers.
too. I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
Tom,
I don't know
that's
when
right.
he's gonna commit, but
I think he's going to come in during the towards the end of the month. And you got some wide receivers. Listen, William Fowles is a very, very, very talented player that not enough people talk about. And I think he's a possibility to be a part of this program. And of course, Hakeem Williams, everybody knows about also. So Malik Bryant, forgot to mention Malik Bryant. Did you mention Malik Bryant, DJ? Malik Bryant. That seems to be a really tight battle between Miami and Florida right now. So I think that we're going to be watching all of these, and I know that DJ and Larry will have some info for you on some of these players as well. Look out for some possible extra content on the podcast this week, if not next week, with myself and with Larry Bluestein on there. You guys can check us out here every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. on the Six Rings Canes Show. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Six Rings Canes. Six Ring Canes, excuse me. Six Ring Canes. You can also check out the podcast. Just go to wherever you listen to a podcast and search Six Ring Canes podcast in Google as well. You'll be able to find us there. Make sure. Oh, big shout out. We got to give the dono. Hey, $1.99. We'll take it, bro. Blue, Fowles, or Hakeem? Who you got? I guess you got to answer this question.
I mean, who do I have as a better prospect?
Yeah, who do you want? Yeah,
Hakeem is our third top player in the state of Florida. So Fowles a little bit down on the ladder, but I mean, if Fowles or a Hakeem moves on to somewhere else, you get Fowles. Nice. I mean, but he's no slouch, but Hakeem's the deal. And, he's really nobody I've seen, he was a basketball guy. And then all of a sudden now he's a top prospect. Got a chance to watch him last Saturday and Sunday at both 7-on-7s. He turned it on for everybody, all the recruiting guys, the analysts that were there last week, just in case they didn't believe in him. He kind of torched a couple of really, really good teams.
Nice. And that question, Anthony, just to go back to it, Samson transferring to IMG Academy. I don't know. I really don't care where he plays. He's a stud. So if he wants to stay where he's at, let him stay where he's at. And we'll see what happens as long as he's wearing the orange and green next year. Again, make sure you follow us. Check us out every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. right here on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube network. Check us out on Twitter at Six Rings Canes, and of course on the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out, Six Rings Canes podcast on Google as well. That's it for us. Vish, DJ, Larry, awesome show. Thank you to Ray Joseph for coming on as well.
Yes.
Make sure you stick around as we got Hitting the Apex, our F1 show coming up after this.
Yep.
And we might get Blue on there to talk Formula One at one point.
busy night.
Absolutely. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Go Canes.